Welcome back. Joining us on the show now is Himanshu Agarwal. He is Director Satyam Balajee. Himanshu, thank you for joining us. And to rice, and I was looking at the numbers, and the rice reserves in India on 1st of December were 44 million tons versus government target of 7.6. And then we are looking at a good crop as well. What's your sense on the rice as supplies that we have, the domestic demand, the kind of export numbers that you are envisioning?
So basically, yes, we see a record production this year. I mean, we're looking at about 137 to 138 million metric tons is what India is expected to produce. And government is very wary of the fact that they're sitting on a very high stock. Hence, we see the government buying hasn't been that aggressive as we have seen in the last couple of years. It's slightly reluctant in taking big numbers because there is storage issue. There are other issues that eventually they would face. So supply side, there's no concern. Domestic demand, I would, we in a way, I would say that there's big numbers available in the market in terms of inventories, and with so much such a lucrative MSP and bonus in certain states, everybody is more than happy to give the rice. And internationally, also the market cannot sustain these levels. Unfortunately, we do not have we're not in a big bull run of rice trade internationally, wherein we can sell the rice at our own prices. So, yeah, I mean, there is a challenge. There is definitely no equilibrium as of today in terms of supply and demand.
Himanshu, we do understand that after India opened up its exports, the international markets have only been declining. I mean, 10 to 15% since September until now. And I do understand that Indian rice is the cheapest or most competitive into the international markets right now. So what are the numbers that you're looking to do in sense of exports this time?
Honestly, I would slightly disagree on that front, that the Indian price is not cheapest internationally right now. We are facing very stiff competition from the likes of Pakistan, Myanmar, Vietnam on certain commodities, and even Thailand, which is our biggest competitor. So it's not that India prices are the most competitive as of now, but yes, we are getting back our lost share of trade. So yeah, that's where we are. So prices have declined from 550 to 430. Yeah, I mean, we are still not very competitive. I mean, we still, for India, we were trading parboiled at 350 before duty came in, and today we are at 440. So we are still about 25% higher to the lowest we have seen.
And what's your sense on the exports then? I mean, as you said, there is good crop. And I mean, I was reading some reports that Thailand and Pakistan crop has been good as well this time around, even Myanmar for that matter. So where does India stand in the export market, and what are the kind of numbers that we could be doing?
We expect, I mean, now in next 2025, we should at least hit 17 to 18 million tons of export, given because there's still one commodity which is not openly allowed to export, which is broken rice. So we are constantly in talks with government to understand how exactly they see, allowing that to go, because it's still on quota system and still routed through NCL. So that's about 3 million tons of additional export we can look into if government decides to ease on broken rice. So 17 million if the broken rice is still restricted, and we can hit 20 million if broken rice is also allowed to be exported the way it was 2-3 years ago.
Himanshu, how would you also look at the pricing part of it in the coming year now? I mean, we've seen a volatile year, mostly depressed, but yes, since the prices have started moving, how are you looking at 2025 in sense of year? And how would you also react to various reports suggesting that with the kind of returns that maize farmers got, that could eat into some of the rice area?
So yes, I mean, all indications show that we are in for a bit of a bear run, but then again, that's when the market surprises you. When everything indicates in one direction, that's where the market surprises you, because there is an ample amount of supply available. The prices are not very competitive internationally. India is not the only one offering rice. There are many countries offering rice. So yes, we should see some correction in prices, which we have already seen after duty has been removed. But yeah, I mean, maize, again, India used to export maize in good numbers, but that's not the case. I mean, we would see maize harvest going up in India in next couple of years because of support on ethanol front, and also the returns that the people have gotten on maize. So yes, that would eventually eat into rice, but for this cycle, I mean, all of this would be for the next cycle, but for this cycle, I expect some price correction down the line.
Himanshu, also when it comes to Indian markets, have the trends changed at all? I mean, we do understand that millets is making a bit of an inroads right now. There's healthy eating. Is rice demand growth as it has been in the previous years?
Unfortunately, in terms about millets and all of this, these are still luxury in terms of Indian market is concerned. I mean, we are still a country where the majority are, fighting it out for basic necessities. So rice demand per se, I don't see a lot of challenge going on that front because it's a very, very niche criteria which is going into millets or other grains. But in demand wise, I don't see any change, at least in short term. Maybe in long term, we don't know how exactly market would react. And now with the RII and all of these institutes working out on different rice DNAs and rice structure, wherein the GI index would come out, will be very lower significant, in terms of seed manufacturing. So we would see low GI rice coming into the market real soon. And a lot of work is going on branding of those rice as well. So I don't think rice being a staple has any challenge in long run.
Indeed. All right, Himanshu, thank you so much for joining in and sharing with us your views on this space going ahead. Manisha, thanks a lot for joining in as well. But with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Halftime Report. From me and the team that put this show together, thank you so much for watching. Business Lunch up next.